Hey guys, I am Pixel Dan, and today we're going to be checking out the Masters of the Universe Origins Tri-Klops. And this, of course, is the mini comic version of the character, which is the fan vote winner, as you can see right up here in the top corner of the box. So, if you are not aware, Mattel did a poll for the fans to choose a figure that they wanted to see, and the one that won that vote was mini comic Tri-Klops. And I have a theory that the reason that won is because this is a character that we never got issued in the Masters of the Universe Classics line. Mini comics Trapjaw did get a release. We got a Red Beast Man, so we got like all these other versions of various characters, but we never really got Tri-Klops, and fans have always wanted to see it, so when presented with the option, it won that vote. Now, what I wasn't expecting was that this was going to end up being a Mattel Creations exclusive. I guess I should have seen that coming. Of course, the big downside with that is this thing sold out instantly, just like all of these online exclusives seem to do. I was lucky enough that I was able to get my order in. I was legitimately in a Uber on the way to the airport to come home from PowerCon, like waiting for 9 a.m. Pacific time. I was able to get right in. I ordered my Tri-Klops. Thankfully, it went through, but it sold out instantly. And man, that just really sucks that this is something that we're still dealing with so fiercely. Like, I don't know, man. I know that to Mattel, that's a huge success, but it's super, super annoying for the fans who just want to buy these. I really hope all of you guys that wanted this were able to score it, but I have a feeling that's not the case. So we're going to go take a look at this today, but I just wanted to get that out of the way. I'll step off my soapbox now. So since it was an exclusive, it actually came in this shipper box, which is kind of cool. You can see it's got the Terror of Tri-Klops on there, which is a nice homage to that original mini comic. Fan vote winner on the other side. So I like that there's illustrations on that mailer box there. And then the blister card is even a little bit different than what we typically see at retail. You can see we've got the artwork of Tri-Klops on the front right there, which is a great homage to some of the later figures in the vintage line that started doing that. And he's packed in with the glow-in-the-dark Warriors ring, just like some of the vintage Tri-Klops figures were. So really, really cool stuff there. As we rotate this around to the back, instead of a cross sell, we've got this beautiful new artwork reimagining that original comic book cover there. You can see it says first appearance comic book in this burst right here. The colors on this are awesome. Beautiful artwork. Look at that Point Dread and the Talon Fighter up on top of Grayskull. Really exciting stuff. So presentation is beautiful. Mattel always does an amazing job on the packaging on their exclusives. So let's go and get this guy ripped open out of that beautiful packaging. We'll get a closer look at the figure inside. All right, so the first thing I want to talk about is the mini comic that is included, because instead of a brand new mini comic like we've been getting with the rest of the Origins line, with Tri-Klops here, they actually gave us a reprint of the original Terror of Tri-Klops mini comic. So pretty cool stuff. Gives you an opportunity to see this original story, which was the first appearance of Tri-Klops. So you can see him in that original outfit that this toy is based upon. And I did want to go ahead and bring in my original print of that same mini comic for a comparison time, just so you can see these two side by side. The new one is definitely printed on a different type of paper, so it's pretty easy to tell right off the bat which one's original and which one's a reprint. I kind of wish it said reprint on the new one somewhere. It even still has the original 1982 copyright information on there, but I will show you this. The back of the original one has this back page with a cross sell, and even has like this advertisement for Hot Wheels on the inside, and the new print is lacking that page entirely. So it is easy to tell, as long as you know what you're looking for, that this is a reprint, and it gives you a chance to check out that original story if you don't have access to a vintage mini comic. So, of course, the other bonus that is included is the Warrior ring, and this is awesome. It's a great nod to the vintage toy line, where this glow-in-the-dark Warrior ring was included with Tri-Klops action figures as like a bonus accessory for you. It actually is sized a little bit better for adult fingers, though it's still, you can see it's pretty tight on my fingers, and I'm sure there's plenty of folks out there with even fatter fingers than me, so it's not going to fit perfect, but it's still a really great looking ring. I love how clear that warrior logo is on there, that skull. It is so neat looking. It's molded in glow-in-the-dark plastic, and it's got the little opening compartment, and I thought this was pretty funny. The Masters of the Universe logo is on the inside, but it is not an Origins logo. It says Masters of the Universe Classics. If you guys collected that toy line, you might remember that they did a warrior ring in that line too. So it looks like they either had a whole bunch of these rings left over from when they ran them for classics, or they just reused that same mold again. But yeah, they didn't update the logo. It just has the Masters of the Universe Classics logo on the inside. So that's kind of funny. But you know what? Still a cool accessory to have included with this figure. All right, so we've got our brand new fan favorite Tri-Klops outside of the packaging. I want to start with the tape measure to show you that just like all the other figures in this line, they stand just shy of a full 6 inches tall. They're technically in that 5.5 inch scale to sort of fit in with your vintage action figures and the style of those. And as we've said multiple times, this version of Tri-Klops is based on his first appearance, which is why he's wearing this totally garish outfit. These colors are so ugly, but you know, something about that just makes him kind of cool. For the most part, this guy does just reuse the same base body that we've had on many of the other figures in this line, including the first release of Tri-Klops. You know, he does have just those straight wrist bracers there. He's got the standard body. He is wearing different boots this time, which is really nice. So instead of like the furry boots, he's got the straight boots with the points on the tops of the boots there. His armor is completely new, which I really like. So they've sculpted him brand new armor to match what he's wearing in the mini comic there. But the head is the same visor, just painted different. It's like this lime green this time. They didn't paint the eyebrows above the eyes on this particular version of the visor, but I believe that is just a matchup with the way it looked in the mini comic. And I do want to talk about the paint a little bit more, because on his armor here, I just want to kind of point out that it's just not as clean as I'd like it to be, and I feel like I've seen that a lot recently on these figures. I don't know what is going on with the sloppy paint, but if you look at the armor here, I mentioned that this is like a soft, pliable plastic, and it's molded in red. So all the rest of this is painted over, and you can see how thick that paint is. Like, they really globbed on that green and the white and the orange on there, and it's probably to make sure that it shows correctly over that red. But look at just how sloppy a lot of this paint is. I mean, you've got green that's globbed up on the white. All of these weird little Easter egg things, the ovals that are decorating his sash are completely uneven, and the paint just really looks globbed on there. I don't know. I really am not a fan of just how unclean that looks. It's just so sloppy. I wish it was a little bit straighter. And down on the boots, it's kind of the same because you got these white lines kind of painted on the boot, but up here at the top, you can see there's a lot of red kind of shining through. There's some white kind of splotched around those lines. So the lines are just not painted very cleanly. So I don't know. Like, I love the bright colors. I love how garish and goofy this costume looks, but it's definitely laid on a little thick and just not as clean as I'd like to see it. Another interesting thing about this guy is that his skin tone is a very odd color. You'll really see it when we compare him to the other Tri-Klops, but instead of like the more tanned skin that we typically see for Tri-Klops, this has a very peach colored skin, and it's a very unnatural color. It just looks a little strange. So I'm not sure why the decision was made to give him this particular skin tone, because it doesn't even really look like it matches the way he looks in the mini comic there. So I don't know. It's just interesting color choices all the way around on this guy. Some of it seems accurate to the comic. Some of it just seems odd. So let's go ahead and run over the articulation real quick. It's the same as what we've seen before on this guy. Also, you can rotate that visor as I showed you. So just like on the actual vintage figure, you can see all three eyes there. That head is on a ball joint, so it can swivel all the way around there. You can pop it out of socket. The arms can go upwards, forwards, backwards, swivel at the elbow, single joint at the elbow, swivel at the wrist, hinge joints at the wrist. You got a waist turn there, also removable there on that peg. You do have those hinge joints there at the thighs. The legs can go outwards, forwards, backwards, swivel at the knee, single joint at the knee, swivel at the boot cut. The ankles can move forwards and backwards as well as rock side to side. And all the articulation does feel nice and sturdy on this particular figure. So he poses around really good, and he does retain all of the mixing and matching and interchangeable pieces that we've seen for most of the figures within the Origins line. So the only other accessory that this Tri-Klops comes with is the standard Tri-Klops sword, but it is painted different. Instead of being all green, this time it's got the yellow handle, and it's got a nice metallic silver blade, which I like quite a bit. Once again, a little bit of sloppy paint there. I mean, there's some red specks on the sword for some reason, but it's still a nice looking sword. I do really like the silver blade. Really does make it stand out as something cool and unique and different than what we usually get with our Tri-Klops figures. All right, guys, it's comparison time. So I want to go ahead and start just by showing him alongside the original release of Origins Tri-Klops, which was modeled after the vintage action figures. So standing these two side by side, you should be able to really see what I was talking about with the colors of the skin tone there. You can also see the differences in the armor and the boots and the similarities with the rest of the sculpt. Now, one of the other things I really want to do with this guy is I wanted to try and match up the armor on the Masters of the Universe Classics version of Tri-Klops. Because as I mentioned, the mini comics version of Tri-Klops is something we never got in that line, and it's something that fans always wanted to see. So the armor can be removed, of course, from your Origins Tri-Klops. It's a softer material, so, it just pulls right off the figure. You can unhook it on the sides there, and it does fit over the body of the Classics figure. However, it's a bit of a snug fit, and the thing you're going to notice is that it doesn't fit his torso completely, so he's going to have a little bit of belly showing underneath that. Now, of course, the colors on the standard Tri-Klops also don't match up with what you need. You would need a lighter green visor. You would need red boots to really get them more accurate. The wrist bracer should also be green. The Origins head, of course, doesn't quite fit on the ball joint for Classics, but it does fit over there. It's just loose fitting, so if you wanted to try that, you could do that. But you can also see the difference in the overall paint deco between Classics and Origins. Origins is much more simple. It's very, very bright and vibrant. Classics had a lot more shading and stuff going on, so it does kind of stand out a little bit. So if you're a customizer, somebody who likes mixing and matching parts and doing a little bit of custom work, this could still be a nice base so that you can make a custom mini comics version of Tri-Klops for your Classics collection. So there you guys go. There is my look at the brand new Masters of the Universe Origins mini comics Tri-Klops. I do think he's a fun figure. I'm glad we got him, and as I said, totally understand why he won the fan poll. Making him exclusive is a bit of a bummer. I don't know if there's going to be another option to grab this guy, and while I love the bright, funky colors on here, I just wish the paint job was a little bit more clean. Otherwise, still a pretty solid action figure. Great to finally see this version in toy form. I love the extras. The packaging is really nice. Got a fun mini comic reprint, got the glow-in-the-dark warrior ring, so there is quite a bit going on in the overall package. Like I said, he was exclusive to MattelCreations.com. I don't know if there'll be another opportunity to buy him. So at this point, your only chance of grabbing him if you missed out is finding him on the aftermarket. Ugh, sorry about that, guys. But thank you guys so very much for joining me for another Origins review, and until next time.